Today we're out at Crosswinds 2, which is our second building in this industrial development. This is a 227,000 square foot industrial building. And we got Adam Petersen, president of PDM with us, a great trade partner of ours that does precast and steel. So thanks for coming out on this cold and windy day.
Thanks for having me, Casey.
Yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about steel today. It's been a pretty interesting 18 to 20 months during COVID. What are some of the challenges that you've faced the most over this period of time?
Yeah, it has been fairly dramatic, and on the steel side of our business, it's really come down to two major factors. You know, one, availability of steel, specifically things like joist girders, which are these large primary members you see kind of over our shoulder. But then probably even bigger than the availability has been the pricing. As soon as the first of the year occurred, really in January is where we started seeing dramatic increases. At first it showed up with the joist and deck, you know, some of the roof members that you see here. The primary members, those joist girders, were the biggest culprit. You know, we saw lead times go from 4 months, right now it's 10-ish months. But the pricing of the joist and deck, you know, if a year ago was flat, what we've seen since then has been almost a 300% increase. Your other members, you know, your tube steel columns, maybe the W-shaped girders, which this job has stayed joist girders, but a lot of projects like this, we've converted to a beam girder, a W-shape. Those types of elements, we've seen price increases, usually in about the 50% range. Just the dramatic, especially the first quarter of this year, how fast it happened. It really caught people off guard. And we've gotten better at reacting to it. We've gotten better at educating our clients, and clients are doing a better job navigating it. You know, both from the lead time schedule and the price piece. So
we're out in Ankeny right now, but clearly as you go around the entire metro, it seems like you see this industrial boom everywhere. Warehouses seemingly popping up everywhere. It's created a lot of demand for you, which I think has been a good thing. But just talk about that boom and what you've been doing to keep up with that demand.
Yeah, it's really unique. If you went back to the first part of this year, we were really nervous that dramatic increase in price and that dramatic, you know, lengthening of availability was gonna dry up work. First quarter, we were pretty nervous. Ever since then, though, it's been how fast can projects get into the schedule, which has been remarkable and tricky. You know, especially as pricing still is a little bit volatile. Steel has calmed down a little bit, but in general, we're making commitments, you know, 10, 12 months in advance. And while that sounds great, it can be tough to navigate. But the good news is it seems like folks have gotten themselves comfortable with the pricing, you know, and it's gotten a little bit more consistent, which is good. But for the first half of the year, that was pretty nerve-wracking.
We talked a few weeks ago and you said that it seemed like every week you're getting a call about a new industrial project. Do you see that demand continuing?
The demand is great kind of everywhere in the greater Midwest. And really we see it in two major ways, and two market segments we're in pretty deep, which is kind of warehouse industrial, like a building like this, then also on the data center side. And both of those things, every time you take that picture on your phone and you want it to be saved, that's one more data center that wants to be built. Every time you make an order for, you know, that new sweater for your wife for Christmas, you don't want it in 3 days, you want it tomorrow morning, and that creates that demand for the warehouse. I don't see that demand slowing down anytime soon. And that's kind of what we've been told from some of our tried and true partners kind of upstream.
Sure.
And it sounds like it's going to stay consistent for a while.
At our level, you know, as a developer, we're looking at a project not too far from here that we're working with you on, and it's forcing us to make decisions earlier. We're having to buy roofing materials earlier, having to order precast, having to order steel earlier. And I assume in your business it's the same. You're being forced with some decisions earlier.
We are, and you know, we spent the vast majority of this year really ironing things out on the steel side of the business, and we've gotten into a really good rhythm. We've got some trusted partners and vendors that help us a great deal kind of navigate those waters, both pricing and availability. So yeah, we're starting to take hard looks at inventorying materials, you know, where maybe we have something that we would typically inventory for 3 months. We may look at inventorying 6 months worth of material. So it kind of puts a little pressure on things like cash flow and space availability, but it's all things we have to do to maintain performance.
Well, you've been a great partner of ours for a long time on this project, and we look forward to doing many more with you, and appreciate you coming on today.
Oh, thanks for having me, Casey. I appreciate it.